Well, times have gotten a little kooky out there, folks. The Texas governor has ordered the arrest of the Democrats who fled the state. We're going to break this entire story down right now. It is really a gerrymandering civil war, as New York and California and other states have vowed to retaliate if they actually go ahead with the gerrymandering. But here's the moment that it got into the legal world and the threats became real.
Return now. Show the courage to face the issues you were elected to solve. Come back and fulfill your duty, because this House will not sit quietly while you obstruct the work of the people. The people of Texas are watching, and so is the nation. And if you choose to continue down this road, you should know there will be consequences.
There it is. You will get a timeout. You're going to timeout, mister. Now, this is absolutely wild. Because the Democrats have left Texas so that they cannot vote on an issue of really making the elections unfair, because they are flat out going to gerrymander, which means they're going to redistrict the state so that there are more Republican House seats, making the next midterm election less of a blow to the Republican Party. I mean, it is a crime no matter how you slice it. And they're doing it, getting mad at the Democrats who are trying to find any way possible to prevent this from happening. And what is actually happening here is that Democrats across the country are now coming together. They are rallying together to say, listen, you can be pro-life or pro-choice, you can be this or that, but what you can do is burn down the Constitution. What you can't do is rig the election after, it's like, look, at least fairly have the consequences of your actions, which is you put together a bill that's going to take a hell of a lot of people off their health care. The job reports are coming in crashing. People are going to have to deal with inflation due to tariff issues, and all these things are not looking good. Every economist in the world will tell you they are not looking good for Republicans. A blue wave is coming, and rather than deal with the consequences of their actions, what they're actually trying to do is rewrite the district so that they don't lose as badly as they thought. Here's Texas Governor Greg Abbott and what he has to say.
To be honest, the Texas maps are not going to be as extreme as those other blue states that you talked about. But another thing, and that is what Texas is doing under these new maps. 4 of the 5 new seats will be a majority Hispanic seats. One of the seats is going to restore the Barbara Jordan seat over in the Houston area. And so these are seats where Democrats are having to come to grips with the reality. And that is, they are now losing the votes of Hispanics and black voters in the state of Texas. And these districts are going to show that Hispanics and blacks, as well as others, are voting for Republican, and Republican is their candidate of choice. And we will ensure that will be achieved at the congressional level in the state of Texas.
Well, then why do you have to redistrict? If you're so confident, why are you redistricting? Now, you have to understand, this is rare because it's not the time where they normally redistrict. They redistrict after they do the official census and all these other things. And the Democrats voted several years ago to end gerrymandering, just to do independent redistricting, make it as fair as possible. And the Republicans didn't pass that bill. They didn't vote for it. They didn't want to do it. And again, people will say, well, this state is gerrymandered and this one is. And listen, if we're all against gerrymandering, why don't we put bills forward to prevent it from happening? This is going to start a chain of events that is not going to be good for the Republican Party, because I hope, and I still have faith, that the majority of people understand that this is criminal. This is absolutely criminal. Here's Texas Representative Golanda Jones calling Greg Abbott's bluff, saying it's not illegal what we're doing.
I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit, okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York, so he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors. Whoa. And I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that.
Wow. I love her. He's putting up, he's talking shit. I love it. Now listen, you've got bootlickers left and right trying to defend this. This is what it comes down to. I'm continuously shocked and appalled that people will defend things that really just violate the Constitution, right? When Trump doesn't do due process to kick out people and clearly just violates court orders, sending people to these El Salvadorian gulags. And when he does all of these different things, bringing in the National Guard into American cities, I'm just like, at what point are these Republicans going to say, yo, enough is enough? This is not how we run our country. But, they kind of weasel their way out of it.
The Texas Democrats, as a political guy, do you think it's smart for all the headlines to come out and say Democrats ran away from the job?
Well, let's take a step back from that for a second. Do you think it's a good headline for all the headlines to say that Republicans are so worried about losing the midterms they decided to rig the maps
I haven't
5 years
seen those
earlier than they're
headlines.
supposed to do it?
I haven't seen those headlines,
like
and I do know that both sides redistrict, and it's not.
By the way, this Jesse Waters guy is an all-out bitch. This guy is such a fraud and a hack. Constantly. And here's the problem. It's like it's a news commentary show, so they try to be funny, but he's dressed up as a news guy. It's just like, what are you? You know what I mean? And the problem is a lot of people take this for news, and then that violent rhetoric, that hate, that divisiveness just wears off on people. It's so bad for all of us. And, the other side does it too, as if they're not blatantly gerrymandering at a time when they know they're not going to win these seats. It's like, why can't we have this conversation and call it what it is? And the problem with this old school media is they kind of throw shit out there for a few minutes and then they go to a commercial break and there's no follow-up. Like Jesse Waters would be absolutely decimated. His logic would be destroyed in podcast format where people could take the time to really break down all the hypocritical beliefs that he has.
The end of the world, but to run away from work. I mean, most Americans, they look at that and they're like, they don't like that. You get that, right?
Well, most Americans don't like politicians drawing up their own maps. They don't like the fact that Republicans are scared they're going to lose the midterms, so they're trying to rig the game like they always do. Look, Texas Republicans could be right now trying to do something to help the American people, help the people of Texas with floods. They're not doing that right now. The Republicans in Congress, they're on recess right now. They're not doing anything to help people.
Well, they're always on recess.
Donald Trump is playing golf.
Mike, you and I agree. Congress is always on recess.
But of course, Congress ran away so that they could avoid the Epstein vote. You know what I mean? They sided with a known pedophile sex trafficker and didn't want to release the Epstein files, all to protect him and who else. So save me with the whole, everybody runs away. You know what I mean? We've got the Democrats in Texas running away from Texas in order to put their livelihood at risk. It's going to cost them a hell of a lot of money. And also that they don't have to vote for something that is anti-democratic. Have a listen to this.
Seeing this just as people running away from their job is ludicrous. What they are seeing is the fact that Donald Trump called up Greg Abbott, and redistricting is supposed to happen once every 10 years. That's when the census happens. He's saying, I want a mid-cycle redistrict because I only have a three-seat majority, and I need a bigger cushion. So get me 5 more seats. So Greg Abbott calls a special session, not about the flooding, not about what happened in Camp Mystic, but so that he can steal seats from Democrats so that Jazzy won't be able to have her seat any longer. It's important to remind people that in 2021, there was a bill, the For the People Act, H.R. 1, and it would have banned all gerrymandering, and every single Democrat voted for it, and every single Republican voted against it. Republicans want it this way. They want to use this to their advantage, and of course, there are some states, if you can do it, why wouldn't you get as many seats as possible? But the way in which Abbott is going about this has made people, even like Eric Holder, who runs an organization that is fundamentally against this, change his tune, because the California proposal, and Newsom has been out front on this as well, only has this happen for a few years. So it will go back to normal cadence, and the independent commissions will come back into play.
And I think they should do this. I think do what you got to do to neutralize these threats, and then push for ending gerrymandering, this racist, fraudulent way to redistrict and water down the votes of Americans. Push to end it for good, right? We need a revolution. We need people to be educated and understand that this is all what's going down here. And this is what they would rather do. In 1 week, Fox News spent 85 minutes covering an American Eagle commercial featuring Sydney Sweeney, in 3 minutes discussing the Epstein files. Can you believe that? It's just insane stuff. So when I push back against the culture war bullshit, it's because I know it's being used to turn a blind eye to the real issues we have in our country. And folks like Andrew Schultz, huge podcaster, comedian, he's understanding he was duped. Trump promised to mandate IVF care. The White House says there's no plans to do so. This is obviously a personal subject for Andrew Schultz in his family planning. He says, you don't break your word breaks you. What's Joe Rogan going to have to say about this? He lives in Texas, friends with Greg Abbott. Is he going to be okay with democracy being shattered and the justice and the sort of equality we push for just being absolutely shat on? We'll have to see. We'll be here to cover it. We'll be back this afternoon. We're here every day, twice a day with your pop culture and politics. We'll see you then. I'm Dave. This is The Rush.